if he's on the line. Coach, if you're on the line, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm muted.
Great. Thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Mhm.
If you have a question for Coach, just go ahead and raise your hand. We'll do as many as we can here in the next 10 minutes. Brendan Marks, you are up first, sir.
Hey, Coach. Happy New Year. I just wanted to follow up and check in on how you personally were doing. I know that the school sent out an alert that you had had a close contact with a positive case. How are you doing? And overall, how is the team handling, obviously, the late cancellation with the Florida State game?
Yeah, well, it's, I think each team's going to has had to navigate their own landscape, and ours has been a unique one. What our team, I found out about being quarantined as I was getting on the bus to go down to Florida State. And a member of my family was tested positive, and both my wife and I then were put in quarantine. The team, we talked about it, and I wanted, we all decided that they should go down. They were all good. They got down there, had their last team meeting on Friday night, and about 20 minutes after the meeting, they were informed by the Florida State officials that there were 3 positives. So that was a very difficult thing for them to go through. And along with the pit, in other words, they prepared for both these games, and they were not allowed to play. And I'll be quarantined for the rest of the week. And I've had Zooms yesterday with my staff to go over Boston College. Wrote out our practice plan, had a meeting with my staff this morning. I'll be able to follow practice on Zoom as soon as I get off of this call. We start in about 15 minutes, and then I'll have another meeting with my staff, and I'll FaceTime with each of the players individually tonight, and then make, do the best we can. But I'm in good health. I just got tested about 20 minutes ago. My wife was also put in quarantine, and we both have tested negative. So hopefully that can keep going.
Thank you.
Ethan Joyce, you are up next, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, Mike, I know you've got a game before the away game on Saturday, but I'm just generally curious how you go about prepping for a team that's been through what Wade's been through. And, maybe that's just a greater question about trying to prep on the fly for basketball in 2021 right now.
I really have not watched Wake at all. And I've been in touch with Steve quite a bit during the month of December because of all the stuff that was happening in their program, and, have reached out to him. He's reached out to me. And look, they're going through a different situation. In other words, everything it's different for everybody. And we just have to, each program has to do the very best that they can. And I know they're trying to do that. And I applaud him, for doing that. He's had a lot of stuff that's happened during the month of December to his kids and his family. I think his son was positive. So that's what happened for me. One of my family members was tested positive. And so that brings out even a deeper feeling.
Steve Wiseman, you're up, sir. Go ahead.
Thanks, Andy. Coach, good to see you. Glad you're feeling well. You said you're going to quarantine the rest of the week. Does that mean, obviously, you won't coach Boston College? Is there a chance you can coach the Wake Forest game, or how does that go?
Yeah, well, there are guidelines that the ACC put out as far as testing and quarantine and all that, but they're not, they're not rules. And obviously, with the testing, every school does it different, or schools do it differently. We do it every day. Not most people don't do it every day. For the quarantine, the guideline says you might be able to stop it at 7 days, but you have to go along with what your Duke Health and your local health officials say. And right now they're saying 10 days. So I will not coach the Boston College game. Obviously, I'm involved, as much as I can be. And the noon start of the Wake Forest game is right at the end of the quarantine, and I'll have to get guidance. I hope that I'll be able to do that. And but I'll look. We're going to follow whatever the health officials say, and I have confidence in my team and my coaching staff. But I'd certainly like to be back by that game if they allow it.
So John's going to coach Wednesday night.
Yeah.
APC.
Well, everyone's gonna coach,
Right.
but John's gonna be the guy that you can that'll do the Zoom after the game. All right.
Thank you.
Mark Larson, go ahead, sir.
Hey, Coach. So I'm assuming nothing has changed your initial stance that the season should have been delayed until at least
You know
February.
what? That stance was in the fall. Okay. When I spoke in December, I did not. I said we should make an assessment of what's going on, and I didn't call for the end of the season or anything like that. And obviously, you should, in this type of situation, each program and the sport as a whole should continuously make assessments as to what's best. And basically, that's what programs are doing. And so, anyway, yeah.
Well, given the fact that things are so crazy now and games are being switched around at the last second, and everybody's missing games, what's the answer right now, do you think? What's your assessment?
Well, we have to do what the people who run this say we're supposed to do. And so, again, but doing it with what your medical people tell you as your own institution tells you to do. So you just keep going, and figure out at the end how you judge how teams get into the tournament. And because it's gonna, I just saw that the net came out. I don't know how, whatever. That's not going to be the way to do it. I mean, I don't think. But hopefully people get every program gets a good number of games in where they can be judged. And then the NCAA, the committee will have to decide what is that judgment? How do you do that? Because it's so very difficult. I mean, for all these teams, I mean, I can't imagine like teams that have not practiced for 3 weeks and then play a game. How difficult that must be. We have not been put in that situation. But then if that team, didn't do well, but then does well when they do practice, that's it's a different thing. And I don't know how you judge all that, but they'll figure out how to do it, and then we'll accept the results of what they say and act accordingly.
Thanks, Coach.
Got time for one more quick question from Hank Kurz of the AP. Hank, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I'm imagining that your pretty extensive coaching playbook didn't have a pandemic section in it. What kind of challenges has it presented to come up with your own protocols, your own way of doing things, to kind of throw out maybe some of the practice schedules and things like that that you lay out? And is there someone that you've sought advice from on how to do this safely?
The main people that we seek advice from are our medical team, and just to do everything that they say. Like, I was getting ready to get on the bus to go to Tallahassee, and they said, the chance of you having it is minimal, but there's a chance that you could have it. or, and I listened to, Cameron Wolf and Ned Amendola, and that's the way we've done it. Even, as far as adjusting practice, one of the reasons we did not play our last non-conference game was so that we could put a buffer so that when they went home, we could have a quarantine period where then when we played Pitt on the 29th, we would know for sure that we could play that game. And it didn't turn out because of a problem that Jeff's program had. And so I'm just trying to follow whatever. Now, there is no template for this. And, I'm glad that so many teams have been able to get in games. And I feel bad for our guys that, especially the last two, that right at the last minute, it wasn't their, it's nobody's fault. I don't blame Pitt or Florida State or whatever. We have no control over it, but we do have control over them, how we react to it. We're just trying to react in a very positive way.
Thank you.
All right.
Mike, thank you for your time today. We
All right.
appreciate it.
Thank you.